this conference. In this session, we will have the two speakers. One, Dr. Ratan Kumar, and he is the research biochemist with expertise in the diverse range of disciplines related to adaptation in adverse climatic conditions and stress management. He was additional director and head of biochemistry department at Defense Institute of Physiology and Allied Sciences, Ministry of Defense, Delhi. Member of team working on biological stress and its management for more than 35 years. He has published more than 100 research papers in national and international scientific journals. So, in view of this, now I invite Dr. Ratan Kumar sir to please speak on this topic, stress, onset and progression of diseases.
Very good evening, friends. My topic is stress and onset and progression of the disease. First of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Mona for organizing this conference, and also thank her for giving me a opportunity to give an overview of this topic. We are in two conditions: either we are healthy or we are ill. In 1948, when the WHO was formed, the WHO gave a definition of health, and that is complete physical, mental and social well-being. This is a so complete definition, then after 70 years also WHO has not changed. These are only three conditions: total, physical, mental and social well-being. And third factor, you all know that we are missing nowadays. Nobody is socially well-being now. That social factor is going out of range now. So either we are healthy or we are ill. Health permits a person to perform biological functions with optimal efficiency. Optimal efficiency means we can adapt to changing environment quickly, as our ancestors used to be. They were healthy. Opposite to that is illness. In between there is a third condition, transition state, whether neither we are healthy and nor we are ill. All of the person, including me in this forum, if I ask people, are you sick or healthy? Then everybody will say, I am not sick. But if I give a task to do everybody, I am sure that everybody will not be able to do. Some person may be doing and some person may not be able to do it. So, this transition state, this covers people who are disadapted to exposure to extreme climatic conditions. That is tropical cold, heat, high altitude or other conditions. If I ask you all of people to go to high altitude, I know that 50% of you will not be able to adapt there. It means what? You are healthy, but you are disadapted. And this condition also covers people who are alcoholics, smokers, drug addicts, and persons suffering from anxiety, fear, tensions, which all of us we have. So, we are all stressed, and stressed persons are non-performer. This is the two things. Stress causes non-performer. The stress research is a 1 century old. It was first started The first landmark work was done by Walter Cannon in 1926. So 1926, and now we are running in 2022. So it is 1 century old research. what he did, he coined the word fight and flight response. When something is there, you are unable to do, either you will fight or you flight away. So he coined this word fight and flight. And what he said, this is a perception. Why? Because threats towards the body. When body perceives a threat, person either fights or flights. And this what causes? This causes unaltered homeostasis in the body. So he gave only two things: fight and flight response and homeostasis change. After that, after a long time, 1950, Hans Selye, he is called father of stress. He gave a theory, three-stage theory, that general adaptation syndrome. He gave general adaptation syndrome theory. What is that? When there is an alarm reaction, body provides resistance, and if the resistance fails, the man goes into exhaustion. This happens. Suppose we are running and some dogs bite bars before you. Then what you will do? The alarm reaction is there. You will try to resist it. And if you are unable to resist, you will exhaust the person. So stress is a condition. This is caused by four types of stressors. One is environmental, physical environment, chemical, drugs and alcohol. Drugs will take biological. Bacteria, just now we had a pandemic. Then emotional. In our family, in day-to-day life, we have emotional stress. But stress is always not bad. It has two domains. One is the positive domain and other is the negative domain. In positive domain, there is an optimal arousal of the stress and improves performance. Whenever our exams are there, what we do? We have some stress. And in mild stress, what we do? We improve our performance. We accept. Some stress is always optimum. But if this crosses the threshold limit of the individual, mind the word, threshold limit, important word. Once it crosses the threshold limit of individual, it comes in a negative domain. And what is there? Excessive arousal is there, poor performance is there, and stress-induced disorders here. Why? Because stress causes imbalance of demand and resources. Demand is more and your body resources are less. In such a condition, man is unable to make decisions, plan effectively and work efficiently. In 1976, Nixon gave a curve. This is called a Nixon curve. What is that? Once stress is there is a rise in productivity. And what is this? This is within the threshold limit of the individual. And once it crosses, the fatigue set in, discouragement is there, and burnout is there. Man is burned out. Okay? So, as I told you, the environment stress is caused by the stressors, and stressors are environmental stress. Environmental stress may be outside and our inside of the body. The outside stressors are external factors and they are perceived by our five senses. What five senses we have? Eyes, ear, nose, lip, or your tongue and your skin. So external factors we perceive by our પાંચ senses. And these are physical, large, heat, cold, social interaction, rudeness, bossiness, aggression, bullying, anybody can do. Then personal factors, your basic requirement. When you don't get water, you don't get food, you are tense. Then organizational stress, bossing, rules and regulations of the office. Then overwork. Overwork is boss, burnt out stress syndrome. And underwork, boss. If you want to punish anybody, even in the house also, don't give anybody any work. Just sit down. You want to do work, but I will not give you. In the office also, I will not give you any work. You take your pay, but I will not give you any work. What is that? Rust of interest syndrome, ROS. Then internal factors perceived by femtoreceptors which are available near your cell surface. All type of receptors. They are perceived by few resources, energy demand, metabolic status, whether it is metabolic or anabolic, that toxic infective agents, any infection, drugs, chemical, thought process. This is a very important thing. Earlier what we have learned, one gene, one protein. But now what is there? One thought, one protein. Whatever you will think, you will change your proteins of the body. Lifestyle. In the morning you are listening, lifestyle. Sleep deficiency, caffeine, alcohol, smoking, these are perceived by you. Then mind traps, rigid thinking. You have to change with time. If you say I will not change, then what will happen? Either you will be kicked out by the society or you will be in the stress. Then overanalysis, these are the stress which keep you awake in the night. These are the symptoms, general symptoms. I am not going into details. Sleep pattern, physical symptoms, sleep pattern, fatigue, infection, dizziness, fainting, emotional, bouts of depression, impatience, fits of rage. In behavioral symptoms, appetite change. Either you will not eat or you will eat too much. Alcohol intake, smoke, nail biting, mental symptoms, concentration, memory lapse, confusion, disorientation. These are the stress feelings. You will feel worried, tense, tired, frightened, elated, depressed, anxious. And this is a general condition what happens in the stress of the person. Now coming to the physiological response. Once a stress is perceived by the extra hypothalamic senses, either the five senses or the internal senses, the message is passed on to the brain. Two things happen. Your nervous system has got a autonomic nervous system. In autonomic nervous system, sympathetic system is activated. Sympathetic system is activated and there is rise in catecholamine. At the same time, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is activated and from adrenal cortex and medulla also glucocorticoids are released. So, what is there? Catecholamines and glucocorticoids are released. What they do? Under the effect of sympathetic system, they increase your heart rate, increase your blood pressure, increase your respiration rate, increase your blood glucose, both glucose increase your blood flow, increase your oxygen uptake. What for? To prepare you to face the condition. Opposite to that, sympathetic system do all those things. Increase heart rate, respiration rate, heart rate, it is the parasympathetic system, another thing. These are just opposite to that. The yogis, the people who do yoga, what they do? They do calming effect. And then what happens? This parasympathetic tone is activated. Once the parasympathetic tone is activated, the sympathetic tone is depressed. If you want to be happy, you have to balance your sympathetic and parasympathetic tone. If parasympathetic activity is both, you are not supposed to do it because these things will be opposite. Your heart beats will be slow, respiration rate will be slow, blood pressure will not be there. In yogis, what we do, our respiration rate is 15 to 16 times. In yogis, what happens? It goes to 7 or 8, just half. Once we are under stress, we are in this situation. Either we complete controlled situation of the stress, we are not under stress, or we will strive for the stress, or we will lose the control of the stress. This is the biological picture in three situations. If we are under control of the situation, then norepinephrine, gonadotropin, testosterone, oxytocin, all will be high. Corticosterone will be unchanged. And if you are striving, then this is a catabolic state. epinephrine will be high, prolactin will be high, beta-endorphin will be high, renin activity will be high, fatty acids will be high because lipolysis. Your glucogenolysis will be there. And if the loss of control is there, ACTH will be high, cardiac cholesterol will be high, more passion will be high, activity will be high, you may have your gastric ulcer. Catecholamine will be unchanged, testosterone will be low, gonadotropins will be low. It is a totally different. This is just an example of the situation. This is an experiment where the rat was kept in immobilized state. You can see the corticosterone level. This is the baseline. Within 30 minutes, the level goes to 5 times. Okay? And this is the testosterone level. This is the baseline. Within the 30 minutes, when the animal feels helpless, immobilized, cannot go out, stress is there. Testosterone are 5 times. So these are the markers. Once we are in the stress, we are lot talking about the anti-stress agents. This research also started with 2 Russian scientists. They gave the word adaptogen. It was started by a Russian scientist, Lazarev. In 1958, he coined the word adaptogen, and his junior, Bretman, he did further 3 decade research. He treated further adaptogen. And what are adaptogens? They have a long range of therapeutic activity or minimal homeostatic operation. If I take right now that substance, it will not affect my homeostasis. But if I put on myself with the ultra stress, then those substances will increase my resistance. They act only when there is challenge to the system. They are non-specific in action, and they are generally herbal. And the same type of substances were mentioned in our Ayurveda as Rasayana. In the morning we were talking leaf. In our Ashtanga Ayurveda, in 7th chapter, Rasayanas are mentioned which have been used for rejuvenating our body. Just now in the morning we were talking about the Amla. Amla, Ashwagandha, these are all rejuvenating. Then in 8th chapter, they have mentioned Vajikaran. Vajikaran are for your improving the sexual potential. So these are the substances which were mentioned in Ayurveda also. When stress happens, what happens? Stress is there, we try to resist, and then exhaustion is there, and we go down. But what adaptogens do? They increase your resistance stage long, and they don't go to exhaustion state. They maintain your homeostasis. This is the function. And what other function do? This is sympathetic activity. When it is more, then in case of adaptogen, they increase your parasympathetic tone. They maintain your sympathetic tone. Okay? So they increase the non-respiratory resistance, improve sympathetic, decrease sympathetic, and increase parasympathetic, and long resistance. Okay? We also were interested in our lab to see the adaptogenic activity. What we did? We developed an animal model where an animal rat was exposed to multiple stress, cold, stress of 5 degrees centigrade, hypoxia 428 millimeter of 15,000 feet, and animal was kept in a restrained state. And what he did? He measured rectal temperature of the animal. Rectal temperature, why rectal temperature? Because it is an indicator of thermogenic process, and it is an indicator of central nervous system, because temperature is controlled by hypothalamus. When rat is exposed, then rectal temperature falls from 37, and once it comes to 23, animal is taken out and allowed to recover at room temperature, normal atmospheric pressure. So 2 timings are there. One is fall of vector temperature to 23 degree and another time is recovery from 23 again back to 37. So this is the indicator of resistance. This is the indicator of post-stress recovery. How long you take for recovery. In such a situation, if the animal is treated with the adaptogenic substance, what happens? This resistance phase is increased and post-stress recovery is short. So I told you earlier resistance that adaptogenic substance do this thing. Using this animal model, we evaluated various adaptogens. Some were used outside India and some were Indian preparation. So panaginseng and ginkgo biloba, these are the standard adaptogens used outside. What I am not going to give you result too much. This is green. Here, panaginseng what it increased the fall of P rector 23 fall, 43% increase. Resistance was increased 43.8%, and post-stress recovery was 24% faster. Ginkgo also did the same thing. Britannia, this is the ashwagandha, Indian ginseng, what it did, it improved resistance but almost half of the level of the standard. But recovery was almost same. These two Indian composite preparations we also use. This is CISP1, this is 1V. We formulated this formula for Lipton company. It is in the market in the name of 1V as an anti-stress agent. This is CISP2. This is very old adaptogen prepared by Himalaya Drug Company in the market, available as Geriford. Geriford and this prepared preparation proved better than even the standard. Then we evaluated two high altitude growing plants, Sibethorn and rhodiola. These plants grow at 15,000 feet. Why we use these plants? The hypothesis is that plants which are growing at high altitude must have acquired the phytochemicals to sustain themselves in those environments. So whether we can use those phytochemicals to use ourselves to increase the resistance. Because we used to work for the army. The army people are working in the adverse conditions at high altitude, 15,000, 14,000, 24,000, Siachen Glacier, there are war is being fought. So we used two plants and we found that Sibethorn leaf extract was a very good potential, 66% increase in the resistance and 42% faster recovery, which was better than all. One rhodiola, another plant was there, it increased resistance to 104%. No one can expect this one resistance. And post-stress recovery was 36.8%. We have published lot of papers on this aspect, and many products now are underway being formulated for army personnel who are working in the extreme conditions. This is just a result to show you. This is Geriford. These are the at altitude. What happens? There is an extreme situation. The cold, hypoxia, wind velocity, and all those factors are there. If you go there, you are unable to adapt. Either you will suffer from acute mountain sickness, and if acute mountain sickness you cannot adapt, then you can have a pulmonary edema, altitude pulmonary edema, or you can have a altitude cerebral edema. And these two are very chronic diseases and fatal diseases. In 1962 war, when we fought with the China, and our army was not paid to fight at the high altitude, while China was happy fighting at high altitude, there many states are at high altitude. Our army was flown by first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and we lost them. Why? Many of our soldiers, they suffered from high altitude temperature. Their lungs were filled with the water. Why this happens? Once you go to high altitude, you will suffer from acute mountain sickness, and your pulmonary artery pressure will rise. And once pulmonary artery pressure rises, your alveolar septums will be get weak, and your lungs will be filled with the water. And if there is a more vasodilation towards your brain side, the more water will go towards brain, and brain edema will be there. There will be your dizziness, consciousness, you will lose, and you will die. So these conditions our army suffers. And then in the lab where I worked, that lab was formed after 1962 for these reasons. So this is very important. The people who went to extreme high altitude, that is 4800 to 500 meters, is around 20,000 feet. After the 45th day of the altitude, the lake lost AMS score in the people who was taking CISP2 was very good. And after return to base camp also, their recovery was very fast. CISP2, which we measured in our model, we did an clinical trial at 1500 RP soldiers, and it was effective. These are the composition of CISP1, CISP2, these are the 7 plants. All are the rasayanas, and this very report is a very big combination, 36 plant and more than 7 net. And this is just a result for these 2 plants I want to show. This is rhodiola and Shiva plant. Because in Ayurvedic preparation nowadays it is a big problem that they are being said that they are rich with the heavy metal toxicity. So for any work which we are doing with herbal, we have to see the heavy metals, they are not contaminated with heavy metal or they are not contaminated with any microbe. So these 2 plants, these are the results of Shiva plant. Shiva plant, all the metals, heavy metals, they are within the threshold limit except chromium, which is permissible limit is 2 ppm, it was 3 ppm. Rhodiola also same thing, 2 ppm instead 2 ppm, 3 ppm. So only why in altitude the soil contains more protein. That's why these plants are, but the products were same, we did animal toxin products were same. Now, stress after stress, it is not required that everybody will have stress. Some person may have stress, some person may not have. So it is individual variation. Why? Because of the nature of stress, either the stress is severe or not severe. Person has experienced it earlier or not, first time experiencing. Personality of the individual. Type A personality, type B personality, then genetic factor, then gene environment interaction. I want to just put one marker on here, gene environment. Right? Your genes and your environment and your lifestyle. These are the 3 things which makes what you are. Your genes you have acquired from your parents. Your environment you cannot escape, but you can what you can change? Lifestyle. It will make what you are. I will just want to give you one data for this gene environment interaction. This is the altitude stress code I will all of it. I have explained you names, date and days. This is the renin angiotensin system where renin is released from kidney, angiotensin comes from liver, angiotensin over there was converted to angiotensin 2, like angiotensin converted to 9. Most available in the lung. It is available in the organ too, but most is available in the lung. What angiotensin 2 does? It acts on the adrenals, it secretes aldosterone, and what aldosterone does? It increases vasodilation, increases blood pressure. And at the same time, what it does? It causes your cardiac problem. hypertension in cardiac. And this ASG has got polymorphism. In this ASG, either a 287 base allele sequence is inserted or it is deleted. Two things are. If it is inserted at both the alleles, it is II form. If it is deleted on both the alleles, it is DD form. If inserted at one allele and deleted another, then ID form. So more allele frequency person is having, there is low angiotensin activity. Low angiotensin activity means angiotensin 2 development will be less. So hypertension will be less. So persons having more allele frequency, they have low AS activity and high input. If the person having low D, they have high AS activity, low performance, including hyper. This is the truth. What we did, our aim was high altitude, and our subjects were soldiers because they are getting hypertension there. So we wanted to know what is the status of this gene frequency. What we did, we took 48 normotensin RB subjects, there were who were normotensive at planes, and we injected to high altitude. At high altitude, what happened? 28% became hypertension. Out of 48, all the persons were normotensive here. At high altitude, what happened? 28 become hypertension. In them, what happened? At day 1, 10 and 30, their blood pressure was high and their ACE activity was also high. It was supposed to be high. Because more allele frequency there. And in the person who were normotensive, their allele frequency was 68% for I allele and for D allele it was 32%. While in hypertensive it was reversed. 33% high frequency and D allele was 66%. So what is the message I want to give? All the persons were normotensive at high altitude. At high altitude, what happened? The person having D allele frequency, they acted with the stress and they became hypertensive. So it is the gene environment interaction which causes you to become stressed. So a person may or may not suffer from stress-induced disorder due to genetic intervention. This is we did another cases is in Dogra, Assamese and Kumaoni. We found that more high allele frequency are there. And these are the tribes, these are the people who are more fit at high altitude. So this also said that high allele has got a role to play at high allele performance. Even in Gorkhas and Ladakhis who are born and brought up there, the frequency of high allele was high. Even now in pandemic, people became ill. Why? Because COVID infection went through ACE receptors. And what are the reports? These are the publication in 2021 and 2020. The people who had more ASDD genotype showed more susceptibility to SARS-CoV-2 infection. Which means ASID polymorphism may be a very useful stress marker tool to predict development of disease during hypoxia, high altitude exposure or burn. You can keep on asking me anything in the in between. If any question is there, I will answer. And whenever my time is over, you can say I will set up. So I can start. What stress does? Stress does three things. I will not go in detail now. Stress does oxidative stress, inflammation. Oxidative stress and inflammation reinforcing each other. Stress does oxidative stress and inflammation. And NF-kappa B is a marker, this is a middle marker. When redox system is affected, NF-kappa B is activated and it synthesizes cytokine. Another thing is immunity. Stress causes immune effect, but it has a biphasic effect. If stress is short term or acute stress means stress to minutes to hour, and chronic stress means months to year, which we come across in our houses. In case of childhood, emotional instability, goes on increasing to years. Acute stress causes immunostimulation, support survival. It is anti-inflammatory reaction. Why? More STS2 cytokine iron can are synthesized here. Chronic stress causes immunosuppression, elevated corticosterone, TS2 response, susceptibility to illness, pro-inflammatory cytokines. And these three things, oxidative stress, inflammation, these causes stress-induced disorder in the man. What stress-induced disorder? From top to bottom. A to Z. You top three disease, stress is causing an effect. Asthma, anxiety, depression, digestive system, hypertension, skin, obesity, aging, anything. I will now run up the slide because you have said fine. It causes anxiety, depression. These are the risk factors: family history, social isolation, severe illness. Why this happens? Depression. Again, I said hypothalamic pituitary adrenal hyperactivity, sympathetic nervous system stimulation, cortisol, interleukin, insulin resistance, and depression. Antidepressant drugs are there, but there are side effects. There are various herbal preparations which have been worked out as an antidepressant agent. Just now I talked about Yola, Bacopas, curcumin, many more are there. Some I have mentioned here. Stress causes obesity. Our food intake is controlled by two hormones, leptin and ghrelin in our body. Leptin is synthesized by fat cells. Fat cells who not only stores fat, they act as an adrenal function, as an endocrine function. They secrete many hormones. So leptin is one of them. When we feel hungry, the ghrelin is synthesized from our GI tract and we take food. Once we take food, just within 30 minutes, leptin is secreted by fat cells. It senses, it activates satiety centers in the brain and we start taking food. So this is a system. In stress, what happens? Just like our insulin resistance, leptin also they develop leptin resistance. So what happens? Leptin will keep on increasing, but the receptors will not work and it will not give you a signal that you stop eating. So in stress, what person do? Keep eating. And what they eat? Convenience food. More sweet, more fatty foods, fast food, and they cause obesity. Okay. So this is the obesity. Then your digestive system is what affected. Your ulcers will be there. This is a study where ginger has been found to work effective. Your inflammation is taken. Then diabetes is another. This is very good study by an Indian scientist, Alok Misra, known endocrinologist, that the people who are stressed in their glycosylated values. Right? Okay. I will consider. So these are the biological markers of the stress, and we want to move where we should change our lifestyle changes. In the morning we have gone through all those things. Then stress clusters are there, and then antioxidative and inflammatory plant products are there, and we should change our diet. We should take antioxidative and anti-inflammatory. Thank you.
Sir, I have one question. You have talked about the aptamers, I think, aptogens. What was the name? Adaptogens. Okay. You have told that the crude extraction, it was beneficial for removing the stress. Have you purified it? What are the actual component?
Once you want to make any drug from plant, you have to go for purification because nobody accepts Ayurveda. But in Ayurveda, there is a holistic system. Say I call the whole paleogenesis. Paleogenesis, if we use, it has got a dial, it has got toils. Means if it will work in the hypertensive also, it will work in hypertensive also. But if you purify the thing, you will lose that. And further toxicity will be there.
Whole extract you have used.
Always use whole plant whole extract.
So whole extract was being given to army personnel. Okay, and that was positive. Very nice. Thank you, sir.